Okie, ready?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
All right, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Up. This one's really, really exciting. We've been talking about it for a while, but we are actually here at South City Birmingham College for Apprentice Week and an epic event of bringing trades, I say trades, electricians, apprentices and manufacturers together under one roof right here, thanks to this man to my left, who is...
Richard Fort.
Okay, right. And you have been doing this for how long?
This is our second year of this event.
Second year?
Yes.
Now, let me just sprinkle. We do trade shows up and down the country, as you guys know, and a lot of guys have seen us there, for a college event. And we've done a few bits like this before. I mean, breakfast mornings with wholesalers, all different types of things. To have that amount of turnout, not only for the students, there was loads. Like, we were setting up this room just to do this kind of makeshift studio, and it took us about an hour. By the time we got back, we didn't know where we couldn't turn.
It was rammed, wasn't it?
Absolutely rammed. So when you do see the videos that we put together, apologise, like you wouldn't believe it. People don't notice the camera at all.
No.
Absolutely. And Jay's got some bloopers where he thought he was interviewing someone, forgot to turn the camera on.
Oh yes, that was Adrian, wasn't it?
Yeah, from Marshall.
Tough.
Yeah, so it's been eventful all around.
Yeah.
had the competition in there as well, which is good. That was awesome.
Yes. It's well received. Yeah.
So, Rich, you approached our score. I'm trying to think when it was now.
October, November.
Yeah, well, it was. So just by that sense, obviously, this is Apprentice Week, so this might go out a little bit. We're going to try and get this one out quite quickly to keep it current.
Be good,
But it's it's probably not going to be Apprentice Week when it goes out maybe 2-3 weeks down the line. Mm-hmm. So this is, what's the date today? 12th of February. So you got in touch with us sort of October, November time. Mm-hmm. How much planning goes into an event like this?
In October and November, just basically mail shotting people out to people that this is our second year of the event. So we contacted the people that come last year. Then I wanted to push it a bit further. To get yourselves involved and get one or two other brands involved as well. Just to make it just like a statement on the map for us. Yeah. It's a big thing for us. Apprenticeship Week that's why I picked this week last year, this week, same week. It's just before half term, so they've had an exam last week, loads of them have. So exam, bit of fun, half term. Yeah. Exams come the next 5 weeks are quite key. So the timing of it has always been quite important to me to plan for our campuses. So that was the focus. So October, November. So yeah, it's kind of about 4 months it takes to do something like this, whether it's getting someone a drink, getting a car park. It sounds logistically is actually quite hard sometimes. Yeah. But I appreciate the effort you guys, everyone else makes in just sparing time, sparing a bit of effort, coming and showcasing stuff. It's a two-way process for us. Yeah. It's all about the students.
I mean, obviously, we own a manufacturing company.
Yes, you do.
So, I mean, we're really responsive to stuff like that. But we hear it quite a lot from a lot of other, especially wholesalers, when they're trying to engage brands and things like that and do their own little trade mornings and stuff, that they can be quite... what's the political word? I mean, I don't care. I don't have to be political. They can be quite almost stubborn and unsupportive of events.
Some of them are salespersons. Yeah. And their brand, they know a part code off the top of their head.
Yeah.
But people facing. So there's some wholesalers here today. They've brought another member of staff with them who is very front-facing, talking, engaging, really kind of thing. My manager has said, I want that person to come back to my students. I've already arranged that. It's going to happen. Cool, yeah. So that was someone who works within a business, but isn't always good at people skills. So that's what you got to get the gauge those people.
I mean, obviously you would have gone out to quite a few brands and stuff. Did any turn it down?
Brand wise,
you don't have to name it.
No, I'm trying to think that 5%, probably 10%, maybe no more than that. Couldn't make the day. Right. Another clash with a private event or public event, which is unfortunate. So one or two that come last year, but generally on the whole, we kind of keep it to the people we'd like to have, the brands that we use in the workshop, stuff like the brands that the people see online. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's about. The people they listen to. They're the people that we want the students to have because it's about them. Yeah, we know the people use the brands all the time. Yeah. We know that and how big they are. And some of them aren't as big, but we support them as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of a 2 and 8 sort of situation, really. But
because there's definitely a shift. I mean, brands and branding and product quality. And again, we could do a whole podcast and all that. I could do one on my own and not listen. But but like, do you see a trend shift? So obviously you're dealing. What's the average age of the guys? So the guys are 16 when they come here.
There's 16 to 19 is 3/4 sort of a thing, but we have a lot of adult provision at our other campus as well. That's probably more 50-50.
Sure. Okay.
Evenings, obviously apprentices. So there's a range. Apprentice is any age now, so it doesn't really matter. So campus is slightly different to the other one, but any age, 60 something kind of talk.
And are they coming to you with because back in the day, obviously there was like 10 brands that people used, and then everyone else was everyone else.
Yes.
Right? But obviously the rise of social media,
Yes.
they're all TikTok mad.
Yes.
I still can't go on with the TikTok. Have you even got a TikTok account? You don't do?
No, I've got no TikTok account.
So it's just too noisy for me. But like, that's where they're getting all their
Yes.
information from, isn't it?
Yes.
So they bring in stuff to you, like for example us. Do they come to you like, have you seen this? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw your previous product, if you like, kind of thing before, and I thought I need to get involved with that. A couple of years ago, I was on earlier, wasn't I? Yeah. So I said, once you change the brand, I thought I've got to get you now. It's now it's out.
Yeah.
Let's go mad. And obviously podcasts, people listen to them driving here, on the bus here, things like that. So they go, I've watched this video, they're coming into class. So social media is massive.
Yeah.
And we have to embrace that. And we're slightly older, but we have to embrace that.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
That was my next
savvy.
question, because
Okay.
do you bring that into your
Teaching, yes.
Yeah. Because it's a
100%.
huge marketing tool
Massive.
for electricians now, isn't
Massive. Yeah, so we might pick a certain brand. We don't always go nuggets on too much, like only use this brand. We're not
Sure.
like that. We have to be somewhat fair across the market. It's, if it fits in your hand, it's suitable for you, you use it. If not, then don't. And that's what it says. So one size doesn't fit all for us, because I was on about it earlier with the challenge. I would prefer the certain brand, so people would pick us. Well, I prefer just the technique. We have to teach technique over brand.
Yeah.
So there's a bit
That was
of
a whole 20-minute debate, by the way. But,
there was.
So your lecturers, all your electricians, and everyone's there picking up different tools and almost arguing with you. Well, I use it like this. Well, what about if you do it like this? And everyone just got a whole different opinion. Same set of tools. Absolutely mental.
It is, yeah.
You gotta love
Obviously,
it.
we've got like someone who's 16, say straight from school.
Yeah.
We've got someone who's 26, who's been over life skills, and how they interpret their hands, you know, dynamically, is completely so diverse. It's untrue.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because with the challenge, they're like, "Oh, Jay can do it." I was like, "He doesn't know which end of the screwdriver to pick up."
yeah. Because you were egging me on, saying, go on. Yeah, I didn't do it.
Did Connor do it in the end?
No, he said that he was waiting for you to come back.
Oh, he's
it was a cop out.
We'll have him on before we
It was
finish the
a
episode.
cop-out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But Rich, I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
So 2 years ago, you start this.
Yes. So second year this year.
Second year,
this
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so second year this year.
Yes.
You started this. What was the rationale behind it? Was it something that you saw online that you thought, let's mirror, or was it just an idea came to you?
I have obviously been to trade events.
Okay.
Over the past, but they're not student events.
Yeah.
So I say quite a lot, but I am student focused, because they're the people that are the future. You mentioned the future is a brilliant word. They are the future of any brand,
Yeah.
no matter who you are.
And industry.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then obviously nurturing and teaching those people of all ages into the industry, then we need to do more for them so they can see these brands, have a chat with people. I'm watching people mingle around, and you've been doing this, I know you've been doing recording, but just let them have a go. Let them speak. How good are they speaking to adults, other people you don't know?
I tell you what
That's
surprised
important.
me. So we were talking when we first got here, really, and within 5 minutes of having a camera put a mic, the confidence of some of them.
Yes.
And like what with kid, I think it was his name, Gabriel. We'll pick it up in a bit.
Gabriel,
But yeah, he got a little piercing in his eyebrow.
Yeah.
So he come over. He's like, he wants to do this. He wants. I'm going to do commercial because I can do commercial. And I can do domestic, and definitely want to work for myself. And I'm going to have 100 boys on the road one day. I'm like, this, and you can just tell it in him. Like, even if he doesn't get 100, he's going to do something.
Yeah,
and
he'll have 99 even.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And some of them, there's just so much, and they to be so goal orientated. So I wasn't.
No.
I mean, I knew you were 18. We knew each other at 18. We weren't. We was just trying to get through the following week. But these kids are like, they've already, and I don't know if social media has had a play in that, because there's so many examples to them. Mm-hmm. They can see, look at I follow such and such. He's done this or she's done that, and sort of those examples are tangible, even if they're not in your immediate circle or your immediate life. Whereas us growing up, if you couldn't see it, it was hard to believe it. They can see it in the palm of their hand at all times. Like I say, they can watch a video, they can listen to a podcast, whatever. But there was so many of them like that. And I just think about, when I was at sixth form in college, and kids weren't wired like that. And it's an unbelievable opportunity, I think, for young people to be nurtured.
Like I say, back to your point, like, some people at colleges, training centres, sometimes they'll have one rep in and they'll sell a product, somewhat kind of thing. Obviously, we can't do any of that, but we'll just, like I said, nurture them inside. Well, you talk about it all the time on TikTok. You watch it and watch the video. You've used the tools in the workshop if we've got those kind of there. So I just thought I need to make this into 3D, if that makes sense. I need it to
tangible.
be live, 100%, face-to-face. It is important to be face-to-face. There is the modern world hiding behind a phone, but you need to see or feel the products, do stuff. And it was just evolved from there. I went to other previous events and I was like, brilliant for electricians. But the people I'm bringing 65 people or something in a coach.
Yeah.
And these are the future of the industry. So I was just like, we need to do something different. Right, can I do it? A bit like a pipe dream, I'll be honest with you. And then I was like, let's reach out. And then people just got on board and they were like, this is escalating. Last year, the first one last year has gone from a couple of classrooms worth of people. We had the same area, by the way, there with a few less people. Really, really good. And then some of the, Ben and Chris and that were there as well, sort of thing. And Ryan Davis is obviously there as well. So they was like, that gives you a platform, a presence sort of thing. And people have gone, let's do it again. Got a few more people here, obviously yourselves. And just to raise that, because it needs to happen.
Yeah.
We'd be falling behind the times if we didn't do something like this.
But you guys won the eFix College of the Year.
We did win the eFix College of the Year for college links, community links. And stuff.
Shout out to Gary for that. But there's not saying there's a lot of competition in that. That's not fair.
It's hard work. That's what.
Yeah, but it is. But
It is.
There's not. Again, we've worked with other colleges. We're in contact with them, and they'll ask you for a few free boards or RCBOs for some rigs and things, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, but then our students get used to using it. But there's no real engagement there. They're not. It's almost like we got to get them in, we got to get them out.
No, so the bounce from this, us, I'll call it a bounce, rebound bounce, whatever. Yeah. The bounce from this is because more contractors have come this year because they know more about it.
There was quite a number.
There's about 12, 13 of them that have come, which is lovely. And there's a couple more that have actually come since you guys have been in here.
Right.
And just to see what's happening, to talk about it, they want to see students. We've got some work placements now arranged and booked because of that, which is a brilliant knock on. That was my key, was just to get that.
Because that's going to get harder, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. It has to. So the courses now have inbuilt work experience as a module. It's a tick box. So if they don't do certain amounts of professional CPD in-house to face online, which is fine, but it's still a tick box PDF thing. So there's a bit of that. But the live personal thing, if they do that and can do some on-site experience, they can tick the third box.
Right.
So it's a good thing. But obviously, I've got to help and support that. So how do I do that? How do we do that as a college? So we have to have days like this now and going forward and stuff like that. We can attend external events, but some don't count. So
Why is that then?
It's the way the programmes are built. Sitting Guild, obviously we use primarily. So they've said it has to be relative to their industry. So if they went and worked in, say, Screwfix, for example, it wouldn't count towards, even though it's work experience, because it's not electrical biased. If you went and visited a certain branded factory, it's not quite enough to say they've learnt in.
When I came through Edmondson's, we did City Guilds, and we got ours because we're an electrical wholesaler.
Correct.
So it wasn't like Screwfix is, I suppose, it's just a trades.
Yeah, they sell
really,
trade stuff.
But you could be a builder and shop in Screwfix, isn't it? So it's not. I can understand that, I suppose. But what about if? Because there's a lot of brands here. There's a lot of brands here. Like, to do days at these manufacturers. Would that count?
That wouldn't count.
That wouldn't count either.
It's essential. I have done it in the past. I've been to various lighting places and Redditch and stuff, and that we've took the students there. They've been really good. They've learned so much stuff. The mini presentation about lighting.
That
presentation.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to say that.
We don't sell lighting.
No, you know what I mean. But they did like a mini presentation about how we use the software.
Yeah.
Tamlight have been here this year, for example, and did a mini presentation about this is software you can use in industry. Nice. I'm a lighting specialist. This is what I do. So the visit was brilliant previously, but I've had to stop that because it's not quite enough for the tick box. And it's not a tick box, but it becomes a tick box, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then,
is it because it's not CPD accredited?
Yes, ultimately. But we can take pictures and say they were there. So if someone's done 2 or 3 days on site, done a bit of online CPD stuff, and that's massively clearly they've done more over and above going to college and coming home.
Yeah.
And it's that accreditation you preferably need, really. A day like today ticks many boxes. It doesn't tick every box that I need it to tick, but that's why we do other stuff as well.
But it can link, like you say,
we linked and stuff.
Things.
Yes, it does. So the knock-on effect from today is always like brands, people, showcase, open their eyes, that kind of thing. The opportunities, hopefully, I said work placements is a key behind it as well. So yeah.
Do you get some people that come through the course and then as they go through the course realise, I enjoy the industry, but I don't want to be a spark?
Yes.
What opportunities are for them there? Because I mean, that's what happened to Connor, who works for us, and he ended up in electrical wholesale, and then ended up working with us. Yep. So he's still in the industry, and loves it, and it was great because he can interact and understand it. But he got to a point and he realised that he's not good at, not that he's not good enough. That's not what he wants to do. It's not like. Do you have that a lot? Or
I would say, realistically, a third of the people you're not quite sure if they want to do it. They might go into catering, hairdressing, they might go into plumbing. So the skills are transferable between many trades.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So electrical courses, qualifications, when they have them, are obviously quite well esteemed. But to get on the start of them, you have to have good English and maths.
Right.
There's a massive push on colleges. The country should have.
I agree with that.
People, as they should have. But there's levels to that. Someone might not have the required grade straight away, so we put them on a slightly lower level course, because if you're capable, you'll always want to be an electrician.
Sure.
So the drive should be there from 2 or 3 or 4 years down the line. But not everyone has that. But we say go into a different field, whether it's renewables, and about Emma from solar, renewables, it could be sales, it could be anything at all. It could be manufacturing, with people who go downstairs or engineering departments, people who go to motor vehicle from us because they've had a ground, and vice versa.
The amount of stuff you have here is nuts. So when we have a breakfast, which thank you, by the way.
No worries.
We sat there, I was like, this campus reminds me of our university.
Yes,
It
yeah,
doesn't
you
remind
did
me
say that.
anything like the college that was round the corner from us.
It's about 11 years old, this building, so it's quite
it really?
modern. Yeah, it's about 11
right.
years
I thought
old.
it was younger than that, to be fair. But the facilities, I mean, he comes up to me afterwards. Oh yeah, we've got a podcast studio as well. Cool.
But they do like media,
Yeah, that's
media
what they were
courses
saying,
and
yeah.
stuff and that. Yeah, it's like engineering, motor vehicle. They've got construction over the road. It is quite.
So yeah, so you know, you could quite easily come
we
here,
have
start on
people
a
who
path,
we
and
have
then.
people who do many paths.
So here's a question then: with all of that sort of resource at your disposal, you become an apprentice electrician. Do you take guys from the media department to show them how to run like a marketing campaign for themselves? Is there any crossover like that?
One of the things in a bit, hopefully Ben and Chris are going to speak to them out upstairs, is a little bit about the management of a business, if you like, sort of thing. Because last year they had a quick chat with us, and last year it was really well received. Different things, how they start, how to charge, how not to charge, what's a good amount, what's not a good amount. You know, got a big postcodey as well, which is quite fun actually. How much to charge if they travel a bit further. If you know what I mean. There was a bit of that which was open and honest, and that's what we need. You don't want someone fluffing someone up for no other reason. So there was that, and then if they really want to be an electrician, it will shine. And you can tell, and they'll stay back like people handing CVs out today. Now, there's something you can tell who's the keenest. So we do speak quite openly about business in how we all worked in our careers and stuff, and that, how we work for ourselves or work for our friends. So we always do a lot of that. We have got some people here who probably could speak more and more about business, if I'm being honest, but that's a good point, to be fair. But it just depends on the person. But you're talking now 20% of every year who's that driven.
Sure.
Yeah.
But some people want to work for other people. Some people want to work for himself.
Yeah.
There's different people.
But I said, my daughter, she wants to go out and she wants to start her own business. And she's 18. And she's never tasted the real world yet. You know, she just got herself a full-time job now. And I said to her, look, you need to work for someone because you need to either copy, steal, or improve someone else's
Learn the right way and the wrong way.
Yeah.
100%. Like we had Adrian Hackwood on, he's on a social media base, and who had the most horrific apprenticeship ever. And even he was like, do you know what? I pulled so much experience from that, even if it wasn't good experience. And he just knew how to do the flip side of it, you know. And, you know, we've been through something similar, and so it's like, okay, that's how you don't do it. So if I just do the opposite of that, but you need some kind of reference to go out into the world and just try and do it from scratch. There's very few people that can do that.
Yes.
There's more resource out there now than ever, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
But to go in to be able to just pick up a van, kit it out, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's very unlikely. I was speaking to a guy called Coombs Electrical based up near us. He's sort of 23, 24, just gone out on his own. You know, did this sort of system, went to college, apprenticeship, yada, yada, yada. And he's commercially trained. But he started in domestic back in July simply because obviously you've got to be able to afford to get in a commercial. And it's all these different factors that, you know, those kids like Gabriel I was speaking to earlier, they already understand, look, if I'm commercially trained, I can do this in this. Even if I have to start here, I'll end up here.
We have to quite openly speak about it because there's two main apprenticeship routes now. There's the full-on commercial electrician, and you can go backwards to domestic somewhat. And there's just a domestic route, which has a bit of EV.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that grow now with the drive to PV and EV? And there's a lot of, you know, we've had a bit of banter on the show before about like, look, there was plumbers last week that are now EV installers or PV system fitters or air source heat pump fitters, and then there's some horror shows on people's walls.
Yeah,
have you seen a lot of uptake on that?
We had an
quick
EV,
quid kind of mentality.
I think it might have been not Robo. I forget who it was. One of the EV brands the other week, and he was talking about the market.
And there's lots of them.
There's too many now. There's a Norwegian brand that's out there, apparently some amazing stuff. So he was on open like the government drive to push renewable energy, green energy, EV, whatever. We can't keep up with demand, can we? Because the grid can't cope.
No.
So we're like, as good as what it was, he was quite open. As good as what it was to have this, the infrastructure isn't there. So I'm like, well, there's a job, which is infrastructure. So we talk about, network grid, and stuff, we talk about that as well. So diversity of level 1, level 2, level 3, MVQ, where's it go? There's so many things, data, comms, fire alarm. We talk a lot about that as well. So we don't expect them to do everything they want to be. But if there's a chance, like I said, transferable between all of those trades, it'd be nice if they could. So we have to be open and fair. Yes, we're a college of multi-diverse of everything, but more diverse careers as well.
Yeah.
So actually we do get a lot of transfer in between as well. That person needs to be, like I said, the driven one. We can support and push them in days like today, just give them that nice little, 3 months, 4 months left from their courses.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. And they'll talk about this for months now, which is really good.
I was going to say, with regards to the brands that will physically attend here, do you feel that there's more that they could do for apprentices?
Always. Yeah. I'll be straight. Always.
No, that's fair.
Always, it's not often you get someone come to you, can we have a day and do a session?
Yeah.
Because they don't always feel what they get out of it. Because ultimately, the sale goes to the wholesaler typically. I know yours is different, which is good. I love that.
Well, yeah, it is, but it isn't. But 98% of our sales go to wholesalers.
Yeah, so that's always difficult. If you can get, we had CFing, to be honest, and they helped us with Tamlight, because I've done Tamlight myself before. Tamlight, Klein was here with some super rods. There's a couple of little things, about 3 or 4 of them with the EV guy as well. That was a nice day because it was 3 or 4 people. So it was a good event for 3 or 4 different types of people, as opposed to one person comes in, he's there for an hour, don't know what to say, not used to presenting to people. Students ask random stuff, good and bad, and you have to get past that, and you have to answer those as a tutor.
You have to enjoy it as well, don't you?
But we're used to it.
Yeah.
And if you're construction-ish background, you've got a chance of, I can answer that or get away with it quite quick.
Yeah.
But some people aren't used to that. They are laptop, computer-based, present to 6 people. But when you've got 40, 30, 60 people, it's not all
Of an age as well.
Sometimes, and it's presentation skills. That's what some people are reluctant. Maybe is a nice word. People want the brands and buy the brands, but they're reluctant to maybe do a bit more showcase because they can rely on social media a little bit more than they ever used to.
Yeah. I also think, it's as an industry as a whole, we're slow, and we're always very much. It's a sales-driven industry, isn't it? Let's be honest. I think it's a £14 billion industry in total, and everyone is about the next month, and and everyone's KPI'd, and you've got teams of 20 salespeople and 3 customer service, and do you know, and there's the sort of ratios and stuff. It's crazy. So their time is always KPI'd. Like, especially from manufacturing, I can talk from experience of working with these guys and stuff, and like they'll tell you, I've got to do X amount of calls, or these are my sales targets. It's just pressure. So to take that time out and spend time with apprentices who aren't going to give you an order for maybe 4 or 5 years, or maybe even longer than that, there's no seeds planted, is there really? And I think that's probably
we're only talking
brands.
a couple of hours though for us sometimes. We're not talking like weeks and months.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm talking about it from a commercial perspective. Okay. That's how it's looked at. Is even like these trade shows. So you do like an Elex trade show, right? And they used to be really well attended by brands, and then because of that, they were well attended by electricians. The brands started pulling back. Less people on it, less giveaways, less this, less that, and all of a sudden the electricians that now go with less. So it's parable, but when you speak to people, it's like it's all sales related, isn't it? It's all the sales related for this month and next month, and there's no seeds plant, there's no long term mindset. But I think that's a cultural thing in the industry, genuinely. Yeah, I do, because you see it everywhere. You don't just see it in the apprentice. We talk about it with wholesalers. They're very much month to month driven, isn't they? Brands are definitely month to month driven. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been the rise in certain brands that there has been over the last 4 or 5 years. Like, social media has balanced the scales massively, because now you can't hide. So if your stuff is crap, it's crap, and I can see it. And that goes for your work, your board, your lights, your service. And the best thing about it is, obviously, most electricians, let's say you do a board change, you put your name on it. Yeah. Right? So now, if it's crap, you're famous.
keep the lid on.
Yeah. You are. All of a sudden, you become, and it's this leveling field. And I think the industry, I think electricians have taken it quicker than any part of the industry, and the younger electricians of that. But the brands haven't adapted very quickly. The reason we rose so quickly is because we did, and wholesalers still don't know how to use it, as a rule of thumb. So there's going to be a mishmash of that anyway.
Their app, but they've all got apps, haven't they?
Everyone's got an app. Everyone's got an app.
There's the app sales. That's all they are. Their products, catalogue numbers and stuff. And there's no like click a video, maybe watch and see. They need to go further with other social media platforms.
So you feel like education
It's the way
probably a key
forward,
driver.
because if I don't know how I could install it or can install it, like I was playing with some of the whisker stuff earlier, which I've never seen before, because how would I not know about that?
But the thing is,
a wholesaler should tell me, but they don't know.
But they don't know about
products.
it.
Exactly.
Because, so they come in and what's the price on that and what's my rebate on that, and that's it. And then they put it. So that's how we grew the brand originally, and then again since it's in Navitas was we did educational videos on YouTube, and ironically it wasn't watched by many apprentices. It's watched by time-served electricians because
bi-directional stuff I was watching.
But it's because the regs change and the technology changes and everything else. So it's a constant. You don't stop learning just because you pass your AM2. So and you can't. And there's actually, don't you have to actually do a certain amount of CPD work now?
It's 30 hours at the moment,
Something like that, a year, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not making that bigger.
Do you have to actually log that now as well?
If depending on which
Body or
NIC or whatever kind of thing, then because if you use their brand, then they can track you, because you get an email link and like I'll get sent certain things myself.
How much that cost?
No, the training's free. CPD
okay,
are evening times and stuff and things like that.
Right, okay.
But we can use other websites that we can have now got accredited CPD online, which is quite good. To be fair, so that's good. Like eFix are quite good stuff, like the very student. You know what I mean? They are about it earlier. They've got CPD accredited branded links as well. Now that's really good. That's very much worth doing. Then it actually gets something out of it. And that's important rather than just watch, take away. So our students mostly do all of their stuff as well, sort of thing. So if people did a little bit of that, you get something back, don't you?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, it's the only problem with doing it for eFix. It costs a fortune. It's true. Hi, Gary. Hi, Steve.
So like you said before, so this is your second year.
Yes.
So what does the third year look like?
Don't know.
Good question.
That's a brilliant question. What do you ask me that for?
Because we'll be back.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
So much. I'm so pleased you guys come. Not just because of this moment now, but just because it is a presence. Your brand, their brand. They need to hear you, speak to you. Like I said, mingling, watching how people interact. Because if not, go through all the COVID years, we've still got a knock on a COVID from through people that do not say it very often. But there is a knock.
It's a huge knock.
Yeah, and then some people there, I don't want to go. I'm like, have a little go, and they'll have a little go when maybe there's less people around. But that's a confidence thing. They're actually very good.
Yeah.
It just becomes an outward persona thing. It's natural, it's not natural. I'm thinking we have to do a lot of life coaching as teachers, so much, literally so much, and that's timekeeping, punctuality, so many other little soft skills. It's called soft skills. We do so much of that. So yes, I'm just hoping next year. I always want to say bigger and better, because every year it has so far. I've only done 2, but I hope it does. And it's hard to plan the day because I want it to be flow and be natural a bit rather than forced.
Yeah.
So we could do time slot. We spoke about time slots to do certain things. We've got something in a little while, sort of thing upstairs. But
I
at the same time,
then you take the way the
flexible, isn't it?
and the natural type.
Yeah.
I mean, people. I noticed today people kind of figured out themselves. The morning was everyone was mingling, networking all around the stands, and then obviously it migrated into the
workshop.
The workshop and things. And I mean, there's loads of. I mean, you could end up doing like a almost like a circuit course, couldn't you? You got to fit this, and like time, and do like teams.
The original
like
plan was a bit
and
like that.
You could do loads of things like that, but you can also take it too far, can't you? And then how do you manage it?
Too much,
because you've got a lot of people here today. Honestly, you'll see. Obviously, there's 3 of us in here, but from all the video footage we got today, there was a lot of people.
It's over 170 people all in that have pretty much sort of clocked, so including attendees as well. So I think there's 20 of those maybe. So
I was talking to Vanessa from Superrod, right?
Yes.
And even she was like, "This is the most well attended show that she's done, and the most well organised." And I will give you that. It is for you saying, "Oh, I think about adding this." I thought it was really well organised. Yeah. All the students knew where they had to be. They just kind of it just naturally figured it out. And it was again, it looked great. Fix Radio, I want their spot next year. It's a really good location. get extra. And I'm going to buy a gazebo as well and just take the whole.
Just look really good.
But funny enough, just from today, I know next year I'm going to have obviously we'll have a Navitas stand, but we will have a talk up space, not a stand. We're going to have a backdrop and to interview people against. Because just trying to interview people today, because there were so many people, you just have people walking all past the camera and just from coming once, I already know how I'm going to be.
But that's my one question to you guys. How have you felt it?
I've really enjoyed it. But we enjoyed interacting. That's why we do all the trade
shows.
And that was fun. But again, this is probably the first event it's definitely the first event we've done as Talk Up with apprentices, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. I think, like Will was saying earlier, what was the gentleman's name? I can't remember.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yes. So the confidence, like already coming from Gabriel, was inspirational.
Infectious.
It
wasn't
was. And then there was another gentleman, Micaiah, as well. He was very knowledgeable. Very intuitive.
Very good.
And
Loves his DeWalt.
Yeah, loves it. Yeah.
Go to walk.
So I got
And walking.
send me things.
But it was moments like that, just interacting with them and just getting a feel for them, just getting a feel for what they want to do in the future. You think, oh, right, okay, yeah, these are the next gen, you know. But what I did like as well is, like Will said, this is the first time we've come as Talk Up. The other manufacturers, like certain manufacturers, you'd expect them to kind of be like, well, hang on a minute, I kind of see you as a bit of a competition or anything like that. But everyone just seemed to be very vocal and very willing to, you know, educate us on their product, their experiences.
But that has to happen, doesn't it?
But I think that's
It
a
has to
knock-on
happen.
effect. I think that was a knock-on effect of the students being there.
Yes.
Because I guarantee, because we've done this at trade shows.
Yeah.
And you know, the enemy, like. And it's like, okay, cool. But because I think the student, everyone's...
The environment, maybe.
Because it wasn't a transactional environment. It was an educational awareness, a sharing type environment. Everyone was jumping on the camera to the point where I was like, dude, we've only got halfway round. Obviously, you know, if you sell a consumer unit, we're not talking to you. You know, there were some other tool manufacturers, but we have loyalties to Weha, which we love. Thank you for sponsoring the show. By the way, they have got your gear in the workshop, and they would welcome more.
We're going to sort something out for that.
Welcome more. I'll speak to Laura. I'm sure she'll sort that out. But they're giving away a mystery box for someone as well, so that'd be cool. But like even obviously Alert, who sponsored the show. In fact, it's Alert who have paid for us to be here today. They're really keen, especially because they've got a massive online presence. They're really keen to engage apprentices because they also understand that's the way they're going to look to buy a product and things now. So it's one of the reasons they sponsored this episode in the show is because they want to engage that younger audience. And I know you had a couple of wholesalers here today, didn't you? You had Denman's and who was the other one?
Sparky's
and CF,
So there's a few there. And I'm assuming they're all local to the college.
Sparky's
as well.
is about 2 or 3 miles away. Denman's 3 or 4 miles away. CF, obviously,
CF,
everywhere. But the local branches,
you throw a brick in the air, it'll land on
There's another one there.
So, 392 branches they got now?
396 last time. Yeah.
So but they're here though.
Yes.
And they brought. I said last time they brought a couple of brands in them as well.
Well, they obviously they got their own setup down here in Redditch as well, which is absolutely incredible.
Which is great. And obviously, one of my good friends works for CF sort of thing. I said, well, you get yourself in and showcase other things, not just screws, fixes, washes, other stuff, the bigger things, the stuff that we want. Because obviously the tools, they all know about the tools.
Yeah.
Last time they were here, they went straight to CF. They were late back from lunch because it was all buying. We give them discount codes. And they bought the stuff straight away. So Mackay and a few of the others like that, they went down. They come back, they got tools. But that's a bounce.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. If that's the brands that they use, we use, you'll use it on site, you'll last forever because you paid a bit more money, and it does come down to that. But there's a lot of people this year, like I said, very much so. Last year, yes, but this year a bit more. Because again, it's the persona coming out of them. It's nice.
I suppose because they've done it last year, a lot of them would have seen it last year. They kind of, some of them you would expect.
1 or 2 were here from last year. Of course. Yes, that's good.
Well, next year then, that's one thing I'll definitely try and add to it. Again, I want to stand where we can interview people with a backdrop where people don't more, and then it'd be nice to get some. Just again, we'll bring the extra mic so we can have a couple on and. Like get some of get some kids like Gabriel on because I think again as an industry because apprentices get a bad name as well because some of them are
lazy, use the phone. You get a lot of that. I'm a teacher.
So you hear it and you know
but they ruin the ones that don't.
100%. Do you think enough are coming through?
There's not enough jobs directly for some of them to go to. Hence, today, work placements, better on your CV. I've actually done stuff, not just at college. Bit of, if the more of that, they'll get more of an opportunity and a chance. Apprenticeships, there's a bit less than what there was when we was maybe a little bit 3 years ago, sort of thing. Might always go to someone they know as a manager. Oh, my son, daughter. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of that sometimes, so there's a little bit less. But companies need to come forward. I do want to train someone, blood them through all the way, not just get someone from somewhere else when they're a bit older. It's a little bit of a difference. So we always have 100-odd people at this campus. Our other campus is just over twice the size in Bordesley Green. Massive. We have 350-something learners a year. Adults, kids, everything, apprentices. That's huge. Honestly, that's huge. But we're proud of that, and we could grow. It's hard to get good tutors, if I'm being told. And that's where it's a problem because of industry money sometimes.
Yeah, and as not all experience is good experience.
We do get 15 weeks off a year, though.
It's good to know. Good to know.
So if this don't work out,
But do you know what?
into education.
That's what the industry needs, though. Is industry people who've done it in a relative.
Well, I was going to say that because I mean, I remember. We both did a business management course at uni, and I remember after we set up our first business, which was a clothing company, going back to uni and doing a talk, and the guy, our lecturer, who I really rated, he was really charismatic, and he all just seemed to know his stuff. He told me, I said, "Well, you know more about business than me now." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I never had a job." Because he hadn't. He'd left school. He'd done his, he's done his sixth form. He's done his university. He's done his H&E. He's done his masters. He's gone back and he's lectured. He's never run a business. Never even worked in a business. And I was just like, that. Wow. When you hang on, you're putting people out in the world like that. But there's a bit of that because again, there's not the, like you say, those time served electricians then going getting their teaching qualification and then coming back in, and. They always bang on about there's not enough apprentices, there's not enough electricians coming through. But you got to have somewhere there to actually get them to a point where they can wire a socket.
Good spaces like we're trying to create in environments here.
Space is huge, isn't it? So a lot of colleges we speak to don't have the equipment they need to even train people to the current. In fact, Gary, and I won't put the colleges on blast, Gary's actually said to me in the past, like, look, can you send some stuff to this college? I went there, and some training centres as well, and they are training on stuff that is not up to spec.
And
it's not even up to regs, and it's just like that. How can you train people to a standard to go out to see like this is wrong? And is that lack of funding, or how does that work?
Ultimately funding. Yeah. To be honest, I mean, I don't know about endorsing and sponsors. What's the rebound of the brands coming into us?
Yeah.
People need to come in. Say, here is a bit of that. Try 'em. We've got a guy who does a consumer unit fire retention sort of set. He does he physically gets the jig. He'll come runs the workshop soon, and he'll show them this is how you do it. That's what you need. You need people to come in, spend that time, show us like I was on about. Show us what it is. Let me have a little play with it. Students can use it. Otherwise, they won't know what it is. They can watch all the videos in the world and they can learn about it, but never had it in their hands. We're a hand industry.
Don't have these.
Massively on this, hugely on this, and acumen and think quick, sharp, but. We need to work with our hands. That's our industry. So that I
haven't seen any electricians that manage to do it with their feet. But
you need that. You need the hands.
Yeah, of course.
I need to be shown how this is how we do it. So we got one guy who does that, like an in-net system for a fire protection system. That's quite good. Might put you in touch with him.
Sounds good. So if you were gonna close off your first bit of this, because we've got some few other people to come on as well. Yeah. What do you want to put out there to the world to see in regards to other apprentices, your day? We call it Rich's Day, couldn't we? Apprentice week, any kind of passing comment that you want to put out to other brands, the industry, apprentices, or anything else.
I would just welcome anyone to get involved and take the step forward to a college, training centre, whoever really, and go and speak to them. We would like this to happen. We want to. You might do an event. We want to come next year, and we want that to happen as well as because social media's everywhere, but they need to be prepared to do that. Some companies have got people who do community stuff. We had H.E. Sims and John Sisk, big contractors, like building contractors here the other day, and they've got his next footballer actually for Aston Villa. He's a great presenter, so he was the guy, community guy, put him out there, sell the business, get people involved. 300 apprentices a year they have. You need him because he engages you so much. It's those people. So I said there's the salespeople who sell, and then there's the people that can really sell it, if you know what I mean. And there's two different types of people. So if they could get more involved, that would be great. I said the courses are there for all levels of people, adults. It's not an ageist sort of thing whatsoever. We'll find you out how good you are as you go through the year, and if not, you can progress. You can go through. Our best learners get snapped up. Our average learners get snapped up. It doesn't matter who you are. It's about it becomes the person. But you guys spoke a lot about people today.
Yeah.
And we're massively into people skills, hugely into people skills. Brands help, but it's about people skills.
Of course it is.
And it's about, like I said, the drive. We're all about the drive. So if people get more and more involved, brilliant. I'll get a bigger hall, I'll get a bigger space. I'll make that happen. That's logistics for me, kind of thing, but that would happen.
Well, there you go, guys. So if you want to get involved in next year's show, it will be this time next year. Get hold of Rich and the guys here at the college, and honestly, just from us, I think
any college, not just depending where you are. But
not all colleges are doing it. So.
No, they need to.
Right, guys, and this time we are... Well, thanks for Richard. I mean, that was epic, money fair play. As far as charismatic teachers go, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
I'd have learned a lot more if I had a teacher like him. Might have had a real job. But we're now here with Emma from Solax, who's got some exciting... We've actually just stolen her straight from a stand. She had no intention of doing this today, so thank you very much for a start.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And the proud owner of Bulldogs, as we just learned as well. And... working for Solax with their new, is it a teaching platform or
we've got a new e-learning platform. It was originally designed for the installers, but obviously I'm an installer and I'm really into the students, so why not let the students join?
Right.
So if the apprentices can learn more about the new technology, because I'm a little bit older, there's other older electricians out there that are a little bit nervous about new technology.
Yeah.
Where the next generation of students will be, they're the next generation that's going to be doing all the new technology, so why not getting them learning now?
Right.
So if they can learn everything about our products now, they're more likely to get a job, then they're more likely to install Solax. So again, it's kind of a win-win really at the end of the day.
Solax has grown. I mean, I know the push to PV over the past 3-4 years has been nuts. I mean, Solax is a huge company. For those who aren't sort of PV savvy or moved into that renewable space yet, do you want to give a little bit of overview of Solax?
So Solax Power, well, I'll say Solax Power UK, we're a manufacturer. So we manufacture battery storage, we manufacture grid-tied inverters, we make EV chargers, we make hybrid inverters that will now work with PV and without batteries, or with batteries and no PV. So if you've got a thatched roof, for example, you don't even need to have PV on your roof. You can just have battery storage and charge off of the cheap electricity tariff 1 till 3 in the morning, for example. Then when you come back home from work, you're using that cheaper electricity instead of paying loads from the grid as you normally would do. So now obviously, because we're a Chinese manufacturer, we're a bit more ahead of the game. So we've got like the new IES that's just come out is AI ready. Well, you can download weather data, so if it's raining tomorrow, it's going to store all your power today, so tomorrow you ain't going to pull hardly anything back from the grid. Companies can use their code or put their platform into our platform, so to speak, so using the API, set up their own program.
Is that work? Are you getting a lot of buy-in then from like housing associations and things like that with your IES at the moment?
So obviously we don't sell to installers; they have to buy through a wholesaler, for example. But a lot of social housing are now taking on battery storage. It's our battery storage system. So there's quite a few up north, Newcastle, for example. They're installing our kit and it's going outside. We've designed a cabinet because of the new regulations, the PAS. So you can have your battery storage outside now in a cabinet that's designed by Solax Power to have your Solax hybrid in it and your Solax batteries in it. So that I'll say the little toe rags. So the little toe rags are not going to come along, knit your kit and graffiti all over it.
You can swear if you want
it's in a cabinet. I'm trying not to as well. So there's a lot of new stuff coming, and obviously Solax. I'm not just saying it because I work here, but it is a fantastic company, and we want to be ahead of the game all the time. So
we see your name on a lot. So we do a lot of design and build stuff with the Navitas brand, and there's a company, Gibson's down South Wales, Aid and Alid and the guys down there. They use your stuff almost religiously. The amount of boards we design to go around that have your inverter attached to your battery storage, and then an air source heat pump specifically, things like that. So we're seeing it everywhere, really. It definitely seems to be the inverter of choice in a lot of situations. And normally, and this is a layman's, again, I'm not super PV hooked up, but normally most people would try and match a battery with an inverter. Is that? Would you say that's the case?
Back in the day when I was installing, you had one manufacturer for your inverter, your hybrid, and then another manufacturer for your battery. But Solax is classed as a package system, so we are our own batteries, we have our own hybrid. So if anything goes wrong, you're only ringing. You ring the UK landline, you're speaking to a bunch of electricians. There's me, there's Jay, there's Kane, there's Chris. We've got other guys, Vish and everybody. They'll answer the phones, and you haven't got to say, so back in the day, your Solis inverter would be broke. Dynas would say, no, it's Solis, it's not us. Then you'd have to ring Dynas and they'd say, no, it's... And it could take months or years to get a replacement, where you're just ringing us and we'll say, all right, well, let's do your video call, guys, while you're on site. That's crap, or can your wiring's crap, can you sort that out? If it is our kit, we'll replace it.
So one warranty, one brand, one service. Is it like I mean, again, I know it's gone away from the apprentice side of thing a little bit, but again, this is a huge market space that more and more electricians are going to have to, even if they're not involved in it yet, they're going to have to become base savvy in it. Otherwise, the market will pass them by, essentially.
Yeah.
But with the buy-in of battery, hybrid inverters were obviously, I remember when they come out, they're like, oh my God, it's hybrid, you can put a battery in an inverter, it's crazy. But, you know, it's like when they came up with bi-directional RCBOs, they lost their minds. But it's moving so quickly though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like where do you see it happen? What do you see happening next? And you know, where do you think Solex fits in that for an electrician?
Oh, I hope that Solex is going to be the biggest and the best in the world. Obviously.
Yeah, but what I meant by that should be a bit more specific. Obviously, there's going to be product development. It has to be, okay. But obviously, you've got this e-learning platform now, which is designed for.
It was designed originally for the installers, but like I say, well, as technology goes on, we need the apprentices of today are the installers of tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the more that they can learn today, the more clued up they are for tomorrow. And like me, the older generation that are a bit worried about new technologies and stuff. Well, they're already doing it.
We're just speaking to Rich then, and there's a lot of older students, mature students as they call them now, coming into the industry. There's going to be, I mean, you think that you've got the rise of AI and all these other things happening. There's going to be a lot of, I'm going to say, industries and jobs that in the next 5 years are going to be obsolete. Would you agree?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And those guys are going to want to retrain. And I mean, our industry, I'm not going to say it's stable. It's crazy. It's instability is probably what makes it so positive in a way because there's constant change. I think there's going to be an inrush of more mature students coming in that probably have never picked up a screwdriver before into the industry, because I think there's going to be a lot of industries that shrink and almost disappear.
Yeah.
And one thing I was talking about Jimbo on the last pod, you're in an age that's driving to a carbon zero solution where electricity is the solution, you're going to need some electricians.
Yeah. Well, so we're running out of gas, aren't we? And obviously, yes, we do need more electricians. Older electricians are going to have to go and upskill at some point.
Sure.
And then it's kind of, like I say, well, it goes in hand in hand. So if we can get the apprentices learning today, ready for
So
tomorrow.
what made you transition then from being an installer then to working for Solex?
I'm getting to that certain age now where I've
Your knees
got
hurt.
I've got arthritis and my knees hurt, and I dislocated my elbow, and I've got a granddaughter. I want to spend a bit more time with her, and it's kind of, Solex offered me a job, and I just thought, do you know what? I
And you were
can do
fitting
this.
Solex before?
So
right?
I had fitted Solex.
Yeah.
I've had fitted Solex before.
Do you think that helped? So now, obviously, in your new role with that?
I'll say no, because before it was the first generation
Oh,
of
so the
Solex products.
technology's
So the
moved on.
technology has greatly moved on since then. But like I say, they're an hour down the road from me.
Oh,
the
nice.
staff are all great. Well, Wenyan's over there, our marketing director, and we're all like a little family. Hi, Wenyan. And everybody kind of, we all get on. Yes, we do have disagreements, like any family, really. Do you know what I mean? And we do spit as dummies out and that, and we kind
We've
of.
known each other 20 years.
Yeah, we can F and blind in the office, and we can F and blind at the installers when they're ringing in, and it's kind of, maybe we should be a little bit more professional. We are professional, but it's kind of, it works for us. So
There's a human aspect to it.
yeah, and I think that's why installers like installing Solex as well, because we do because I do the training. They can come to us and do the hands-on training, and it's like I'm not giving you no bullshit.
Yeah.
You're getting it from my perspective as an electrician, as a renewables engineer, and it's like
So they can relate,
if something's crap, I'll tell you it's crap.
Yeah, but
if
also
something's great, it's like I'll shout about it.
Can't miss the fact that you've been in that situation, right? So you've been on site, and there's a dog's dinner in front of you that you've got to try and figure out. And your problems, obviously, the point that a lot of people that have never been on site or aren't electrically experienced, they struggle to find that. It's got to be your fault. Do you know what I mean? There's no, hang on, let's work through this together. And there's no, not want to say empathy, because that's kind of a negative term, but there's no kind of consideration for, look, this geezer wouldn't be on the phone to you if you didn't have to be.
Yeah.
So and I think there's that, because I mean, obviously I worked in wholesaling before I worked to this side of the industry, and I had to explain that to our staff, and that's where we set ourselves apart. But look, I've been the other side of the counter when the spark is going berserk because they were promised something by their wholesaler that you've now not delivered, and you just try and teach them that, look, they are just passing on the arse kicking. And I think, again, being installers as a customer service aspect to that, there's a kind of an understanding that I've been here, mate. Look, let's work it out together.
Yeah.
Would you say that's fair from your guys?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So
is that where the swearing comes in?
Yes. That's where we're going to start taking a little bit of banter as well. So I'm sorry, mate, I didn't mean that. But it's like I say, if the installer's got an issue, we'll give them a video call, and we'll start from the beginning to the end, and we'll work through everything, and it that's kind good. It works. And I think that's why. Yeah, I think that's why installers
so
like
with this platform then, so talk us through what that actually does then.
So the e-learning platform is a new platform. So you have to sign up to it. Ideally, it was for installers, but we can set the apprentices up. They'll go on the e-learning platform. They have their own unique login. And then there's videos for all of our bits of kit. They'll watch a video. They'll be asked a couple of questions. If they pass, they get a certificate. The certificate is linked to them, not the company. So if that apprentice leaves the company, that certificate stays with them.
Nice.
Not the company, so it can't.
Is it like an approved installer program?
Yeah,
then?
there's an install. Obviously, if there is installers, then it bumps you up the queue, so you get a better get better incentives if you're an installer.
Sure.
So we'll give you faster returns. We'll give you we'll negotiate the compensation if compensation's needed. You'll get a dedicated phone number. You get my phone number, so if you can't get in touch with the office because we're really busy, then you just give me a shout. I know that you're really busy, so I'll answer. And it's the more the more you learn, the more we'll give you,
Right,
because
okay.
you're easing it off of us.
Yeah,
And obviously,
yeah.
we don't want to be going and employing, 1,000 staff in the UK, because that means that we've got to earn more money to pay them staff more, and that we've got to put our product prices up. So
Yeah.
we don't want to be ripping the installers off. We want to be selling a decent product for a decent price.
Yeah, makes sense.
So,
Does make sense.
But then in terms of, so with this scheme now, and now you've expanded it now to facilitate apprentices,
yeah.
what's the feedback so far from the apprentices especially?
So from today,
Yeah.
they're absolutely loving it. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? They're like, yeah.
How
yeah.
good was the energy in that room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, really good.
really
Yes,
good, wasn't
really
it?
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And say the amount of, normally they're a little bit shy, especially with me being, I'll say, a bird. I feel like the lads are a little bit more shy. They don't want to come over and talk. But this year, there was coming over. Oh, what's this all about? What's that? Oh, is that? Do you do solar panels? I'm like, no, we do. Oh, battery storage. Oh, is that a hybrid? And then I'm like, oh, are you interested in doing some e-learning? Are you looking for a job? Yeah, sign up here. And
I wonder, because that's surely going to be probably the biggest space for apprentices, isn't it? It's going
What,
to be
the online?
the renewable sector.
Right, okay.
Because it's the one that's growing at scale where they just can't get the installers. So if you had an e-platform, that puts you ahead of the game as far as when you're applying for them apprenticeships,
yeah,
surely.
yeah.
And think about it.
Yeah, no, I agree
Well, that's what I was
with
saying
you
to
on
the
that one.
guys. So that's what I was saying to the lads. If you've got a mate that's not done no e-learning, like for Solax, for example, and they've gone and done, they've got every certificate for the e-learning that we've got online. You go and apply for a job to Mr. Bloggs Electrics. Well, who's he going to employ?
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bloggs might not do solar, but his customers have been
big is your
asking
EV
about
How
it.
big's your EV presence?
Not as big as I think I'd like it to be.
Because I didn't, until you mentioned EV, I didn't know
yeah.
Solax did EV charge. I knew that obviously
Yeah.
the inverters, the battery and everything else, but I'd never put you in. Again, there's so many of them, right? There's so many EV chargers. Let me rephrase that. There's so many products that charge a car. Some of them aren't quite EV
Yeah.
chargers. Yeah.
The
Is it-
13 amp plug socket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's literally an outdoor socket with an RCD in it. And you know, it's my podcast. I say what I want. It's true, right? Some of them are absolute garbage, and it shouldn't be on someone's wall. But like there are levels to it, because it is such a price-sensitive market as well. So where does Solax fit in that kind of EV space?
I don't do prices because I have foot and mouth disease, and obviously we sell our products to wholesalers, and each of them wholesalers can sell it to different installers.
But you'll obviously have you know where you sit in the
I'd
market
like
with
to
your
say that
pricing.
we're probably mid-range.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not the dearest, but we're not the cheapest, but we are good value for money, guys.
Yeah.
And it does what it says on the tin. So you can either have it as a standalone unit, you can have it with your PV, so it can charge completely off your PV. It can charge in eco mode off of your PV and a bit of your batteries, or it can charge in fast mode, and fast mode just uses the grid. And then we've got the new technology that will be coming again for the apprentices to learn, your vehicle to grid.
Yeah.
EV chargers. So when you come home from work, ideally in a power cut, you can discharge your car to support the load in your house.
Yeah.
Or discharge it
How
to your
big do you
batteries,
think that's
but-
going to be? Because they're pushing bi-directional RCBOs now on EV charger installations for future-proofing for that
Yeah.
reason. And like, I had this conversation about 4 times today. The concept of using your car battery for your home. I just think there is no way I would knacker my car battery.
See, this is again, this is my opinion as well.
Yeah.
No car manufacturer is going to allow you to constantly discharge
Can you imagine
your car?
BMW? Crack on.
That warranty's going to
That's
soon be
Yeah,
voided.
don't worry. Have that 5-year warranty. When you charge your house with it now, you're done.
You've got 1 year left. Or you're going to work and you're charging your car for free, and then
you're
coming
pounding
home
home.
and
Not
get up in
happening.
the morning, you forgot to charge your car. Hold on, boss, I can't commit. But you phoned your car up yesterday.
But it's just going to kill the life of the battery on a car, because they're not designed for it the same way, is it? Surely. And again, that technology will probably develop, but I'm not wrong in
It's
thinking
the same with battery storage, really. A lot of customers think, a lot of homeowners think that they can constantly charge and discharge the cars to the grid to be able to charge the batteries in their home to discharge to the grid to be able to make lots of money. You're not going to make lots of money unless you go in large-scale battery storage systems.
Yeah, but you're talking as one big house.
Yeah.
But you're talking an infrastructure then to make money from solar. You're not talking about powering your home at that stage, surely.
But you can power, yeah. So you can completely power your home. But the more solar panels you've got, the more chance you've got to support the load in your house. But again, as an end user like me, you've got to be more savvy. You can't go and have a double oven and
Sure.
go and buy, swap your 2
If you wanna
slice
come
toaster
straight-
for a 4-slice toaster.
Yeah.
Your electricity just ain't going to last like that.
Everyone uses an air fryer now anyway, doesn't it?
And put the oven on. So
Yeah.
you can't get
Why
rid of
not?
chips in it. No.
I've only just graduated to chicken nuggets, to be fair. Chips in one, chicken nuggets in the other.
And then put your rob on for your beans.
That's it. Yeah, 100% you got it, yeah.
Makes sense.
Mate, as soon as you can boil pasta in there, though, ovens are
It's a game
redundant.
changer, isn't it?
Absolutely redundant. Yeah, but
Just a fancy draw, really.
Well,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is it.
that's
Let's be honest.
fantastic. So are you guys going to come back here next year?
Yes, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I came last year, and then I've dragged my marketing director. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've
Don't fall asleep yet.
yeah, we've asked for a bigger stand. We've asked for like we'll be back next year.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will. Quick
I'd say
question.
it's all about the apprentices, ain't it? At the end of the day.
It's
Yeah.
got to be. It's got to be. Yeah.
I was just a quick one. With the online that you're doing,
Yeah.
do you feel there is more? It doesn't necessarily have to be Solex, but there's more manufacturers can do in order to kind of engage apprentices.
Yes, really. Yeah, because obviously, like, if nobody's knowledge is power, isn't it?
Yeah.
If nobody's telling you how to do something, like being at college, well, Renewable is a new technology. Why ain't the colleges got it in? Obviously, colleges have got to pay for it.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's
yeah.
expensive stuff. So we should, manufacturers maybe should be doing a little bit more for colleges to support the training, because otherwise, like I say, well, the apprentices are the next generation of installers.
Yeah.
But if they're not learning it now, well, how are they going to learn it?
Valid
So
point.
it's like us, well, we do free training. Well, if they were learning at college, we might not have to do the free training.
Or you could advance that training. They wouldn't have to start from
Just-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to put out there into the world for them to know about either you, Solax, apprentices, or...
If you've never done solar or PV or EV chargers before, go on at Eventbrite, come and do some training with Solax. And if you don't like it, well, you can... Yeah,
You can go and do something
put-
else.
That's a polite way of
Yeah,
putting it.
you can tell me I'm shit. But
Well, look, if you ever want to come down and see us in Pencoed and do a full episode and everything else like that, we'd
Yeah,
love to have you on.
definitely, mate,
So I think,
100%.
say we've actually got an installer around the corner who swears by your stuff, so it could be really interesting.
yeah,
And
it'd be nice to have a bit of a...
yeah, and if he's got any
like a
issues,
chat
trust me.
between us,
Yeah,
yeah.
if Aid's got any issues, he'll be the first one to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't pull punches, proper Welshman.
Yeah, no.
No, well, thank you for your time. Like I say, we literally did just rip you off a stand, and again, thanks to your marketing director for letting you come on. Yeah, well, like I say, hopefully see you in Pencoed soon, and if not, we'll definitely see you here next year.
Yeah,
100%.
thanks very
Thank
much,
you, Emma.
guys. Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm looking for some of your kit in me with the back of
Definitely,
Yeah.
Navitas kit and Solax. It just seems like a
Yeah.
marriage made. I like that.
Match made in heaven.
That's the Emma. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Guys, so it's now part 3 of the Talk Up episode we don't know from
It's the Apprentice Week.
the Apprentice
episode.
Week, yeah, but we don't know what episode number it's going to be. Probably, I think, off the top of my head, 16.
Okay.
But we'll
Yeah,
go with
we'll
that
go with
anyway.
that. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a good day. And for part 3, we are joined by the ASM from a company you may have heard of, Navitas. And you are?
Connor.
You are Connor. I hope so anyway, because otherwise we've been sending your pay slips to the wrong geezer.
Double checked and I got a little bit worried.
No, there you go. No. So, for those of you guys who don't know, so Connor has been working with us since the beginning of January.
Yeah.
I came across from a wholesaling background and is now working with wholesalers and contractors to engage with Navitas. up and down the southwest, and actually kind of down the M4 and pretty much everywhere within 2 hours from Wales.
Yeah, basically, more or less.
Yeah. So more, I hope.
Yeah.
So this is obviously the first time any of us have been to this. But how did you find today?
Well, it's my first kind of show like this, to be fair, and it's really interesting speaking to all the different people. I mean, like normally I'd be out and about speaking to contractors or potential clients and stuff, but then today it was just kind of just like the future sparks, and it was just like a totally different change of pace. So I didn't really know what to expect in the first place, really, but it was really interesting. It was nice.
Yeah. Energy was different. That's what we've been saying. The energy was like
yeah. I mean, like everyone was just chatting about everything. Like there was a guy who come over and just like randomly we started talking about the Super Bowl. He was talking about, you see the Kendrick show? I was like, yeah, I seen the Kendrick show.
We talked about that for 2 hours on the way up.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, funny. So I was well versed. I was ready. I mean, if they asked me how RSBO worked, I wouldn't have had a clue. But
the Kendrick show, that's what you want to hear, isn't it? Your ASM doesn't know an RSBO. That's all right.
No, I know.
You know the price and the part numbers.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it was just, like you said, there's a real nice energy around there. I must have had about 80, 100 conversations today with different people. Then the other suppliers as well. I mean, like everyone was really engaging.
Do you know what we were saying earlier, right? Yeah. So we do trade shows up and down the country, and no one talks to us. No one will talk to us.
But it's a different setting. That's
there's this like competitive, like, no, I'm on my stand, you're on your stand, and we're gonna stand a bit. But today, everyone was just like mingling, chatting.
Because that's what I was expecting, to be honest.
Yeah, so was I, to be fair.
You're kind of just looking around, like squinty-eyed, looking around, like, no, don't come over my way.
Don't
come over my way.
Electrician. I'm talking to him.
Do you know what I mean? Wait your turn. But it was none of that. It was like, oh, go check this stall out. Check this stall out.
Yeah, I was saying to Rich, I think it's because it's not a sales environment.
No, it wasn't. And I think what was quite interesting, especially the manufacturers that we went around, like your Whiskers, your Marshall Toughflexes, it was about showcasing product, but the main thing was to educate the apprentices. Yeah. That's what it was about. It was about feeding them knowledge. They weren't trying to sell you anything on the day, mainly because they couldn't. But they were just trying to say, look, this is what we offer. This is how we offer it. And in terms of what we can do. So, for instance, Marshall Toughflex, one of their key things is on sustainability, is on recycling, is on creating that fresh environment. And they were just trying to pass that message on as well. It did help that they had really good merchandising, because you remember they had that little stress ball.
Well, so did we for 15 minutes, so Connor gave it all away. But fair play, right? Fair play.
Yeah.
Those bags, especially those ones, I'm not going to buy the black ones ever again.
Yeah.
Again, we'd set this room up, and by the time we come back in there, I was seeing kids wandering around with them, come up with a fantastic ploy about how to get rid of a competitor's bag by putting, I'll give you one of these in a t-shirt, but you got to put that bag in this bag.
Yeah,
hey, there you go.
I called them back. I was like, oh, come here, I have a bag. You open it. You have one hand. I just opened it up from, put it in. You got to wear it though. Yeah. Walk down that way. But,
so I originally did bring the t-shirts for the college to give them away for prizes and stuff. I went back and speaking to a couple of the students in there, and they all had t-shirts. I was like, they're no more t-shirts, are they, Con? And Con's like, nah, and there's some very small people with double XL t-shirts.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
One of them said he's saving it for his missus to give it to her as a night year now. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, great.
The guy was small, he's a triple XL, he's not going to go anywhere near him anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. I will leave that much.
Yeah.
I just feel we need to pass that one real quick.
So highlights then of today then, what's your favourite moment of today?
2.5 hour drive with us in the van, obviously.
Yeah, that was epic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was
I don't think I really said anything.
Yeah, no, it was, to be fair, at least you're comfortable enough to stay quiet and you don't have to force conversation. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
But like, to be honest, I don't even remember the drive up.
Yeah, because to be fair, you are surviving like 3 hours. So
No, I'm not with it today.
He was zoned out, wasn't he? He was just staring at the window.
He was just like...
Yeah, no, but like I became conscious of that after the fact.
Yeah.
So I've just been like staring at like in a fugue state of saying I've just been like staring out the window like this, doing that, not dribbling or anything. So sound, but like oh, the guys have just seen me stare out here for the past 40 minutes.
No, we saw it.
No. Well, at least I know now. Then I like chirp in like, yeah, Kendrick was sick. We were talking about that half hour ago, Con. Oh right, yeah. That's when I was awake. But, I mean, like highlights of today. I mean, there's this one apprentice who come over, and I must have spoke to this geezer for about 15 minutes, and he was just really like receptive to everything. He wanted to know, really inquisitive. He's like, oh, so this is the board, this is what it does. Like, yeah, this is it, this is why we do it like this. I was making everyone guess what the triangle on the back of the board was.
Yeah, that's starting point.
Yeah. And be like,
What did you call it? You said something.
I said the triangle's there to hang it square.
Bloody hell.
Mate.
Yeah. See, I can't just talk about Kendrick and not have bars myself.
There you go. That's going to be a marketing campaign now.
Yeah,
Triangles
see,
there
that's
to keep
to
hanging.
hang the square.
Exactly what I said afterwards, right? I said, I'm going to have to TM now. You know?
Oh, yeah,
Just
you
straight
did, you
away.
did, you did.
I can tell you this based on experience. Seeing as you are employed, technically under copyright laws, every idea you have is mine.
I'll keep the bars book in my back. But yeah, this guy was awesome, and like he had a really good conversation. He wanted to know everything. I didn't know everything, but at least understood that.
We've only been here like 4 weeks. To be fair.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I was surprised like how much I did know, how much I'd picked up. Obviously, with all the guys in the office, everyone supporting me in the new role and stuff, and what you pick up from there and how you can add your own little kind of spins on, and you know, it was it was awesome. It was really good.
Right. Well, so what are we thinking then? We're definitely coming back next year.
Yeah, well, you've already committed to Rich. So,
Yeah. I think we'll be coming back as a podcast as well. They seem to really enjoy that.
I reckon we should put the podcast where, what's it called? Not the Flunk. It's not the Funk Flex. What's the radio station thing called?
Oh, Fix Radio.
Fix Radio.
Have you got that wrong?
The Funk Flex.
Funk Flex. I tell you what, though. Hey.
They're gonna hate me for that. Sorry, Dan.
And you definitely interviewed him as well.
Yeah, I interviewed both of them. They were lovely as well, by the way.
Just
Jokes
can't-
aside,
just
just
not-
can't remember
no,
the names. It's so bad.
Or the name of
Or the name
the
company.
radio station.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
Fixed Radio,
so bad.
guys.
The Fixed Radio.
Yeah. So Jay won't get invited down, but me and Cole
No.
won't mind coming.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah. But no, so we're going to do a bit more here next year. But I think it's definitely something we'll look to replicate with other colleges. I know you're speaking to a few in South Wales already, but it is hard for brands. We just had this conversation with Solex, and we're trying to talk to Rich about it as well. It's hard for brands to commit time, resource. I mean, you think about just the amount of money we've spent to be here today. Yeah. A lot of companies can't. I mean, we're here as a podcast, and again, not keep plugging them. The only reason we can be here is because Alert sponsored the show. So which is paid for our time and all the kit and everything else, yada yada yada. So brands have got to cover that cost with no immediate return. So, but they do the same with trade shows, although trade shows tend to attract electricians who can go to their wholesaler and buy, etc. So, it is about investing in the future, planting those seeds, and working with your local colleges and wider afield. I mean, the guys at Solex, obviously, that's a whole new technological sphere. Mate, it's a whole new part of the industry. Shut up. You're both getting edited out. But do you know what I mean? It's a whole new part of the industry that is still lacking huge amount of infrastructure and knowledge base. So there's loads for them to be able to add into it. I mean, but
again, I've asked Richard this. I've asked Emma this as well.
You're gonna ask Connor as well?
I don't know if Connor can chime in. But
I'm sure
I'll give it a go.
Good stuff. Right. In terms of the apprenticeships, is there more that we can do, you think, personally? Because, again, like you said before, and it's a valid point, the cost implication for Sorry, but I keep banging that, didn't I?
You do, yeah.
Making my own drums.
I know. Your big ass piano fingers.
That's it. I call it emphasis. Right.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I think that's actually a thing. I don't think you've coined emphasis. I think emphasis has been around for a while.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Anyway, moving on. Do you feel that there's more? I mean, in terms of the cost implications, we've spoken about it.
Yeah.
The cost of us three being here. To the business, if it wasn't for Alert, that would be astronomical, right?
Yeah, it'd be hard to
so
balance that.
I'm just trying to think of a way.
So Alert, if you want to sponsor next year, that would be great.
I'm just trying to think of another way in which we could give back. In terms of, could we subsidise something? Is that
no? I don't. Because I don't think it works. You can subsidise, but like Rich said, they're not necessarily after your money. They're after your time.
Yeah,
they're after your time. They're after that interaction. They're after those conversations, so those students can ask the questions, so they can touch the product, so they can kind of tangibly get some experience. Like those sparks. So I know the social media sparks that have come today off their own back, travelled up from London for it. They've come to share their story, not their social media story, their story of, this is how I became an electrician. This is how I charge for this. These are the things you got to look at for that. Like, that's massive, and they see these guys on social, so they buy into what they're saying.
Yeah.
But their platform, it is why the kids want to hear from them. So for guys like that to donate their time, I think is massive. And, you know, I think Ben and the guys there need to be applauded for that, really. I know Ryan
100%.
Davis was here last year, and, you know, I think that's awesome. Like, if electricians giving back like that, because there's no better experience than actual experience, which is what Rich was saying, and, you know, and even Em was saying there. Like, if you can pass on that experience with that knowledge, then they don't have to learn from their mistakes. They can learn from yours. You know, and that just kind of helps that next generation out, innit? But what no one's really touched on, I think it's going to get harder. I think it's going to get harder for apprentices.
Didn't want to say it when Rich was there, but yeah.
You know, and I do think with, you know, not to get too political, but like...
We said we were just going to stick with this one
Yeah,
anyway,
so we didn't want a black one anyway.
Yeah.
So
No, sound.
You must have heard.
I must have heard, yeah, it's a defence.
oh, there we go. Right, front and centre, because otherwise it just looks off balance and I can't handle it.
Yeah.
But no, you know, with NI going up, you know, employers' contributions going up, electricians aren't going to be able to charge more for the same thing because they're going to get priced out. I think people's expendable cash is going to be less. So there's going to be less, not less work, but there's going to be less meaty work out there. Are electricians, our company's going to take on as many apprentices?
No.
Well, that's one of the things I was talking about when I was out there, because obviously just making general conversation, I'd ask like, oh, so you want an apprenticeship? You looking for one? And I think maybe like 2 of the kids that I spoke to actually had an apprenticeship in place. The other ones were kind of reliant on like friends of the family or someone they know who is a spark to take them out on a weekend, get the experience there. But ultimately, I mean, like, that's, even though they've great that they've got that support, you know, they need that extra push. You need that.
What I would push a lot of kids to do as they're coming through this sort of setup, and I kind of mentioned it with Rich, because I use you as an example. You know, you've done your electrical qualifications and decided Electricians for you, and you ended up at Rexel, and then obviously you've ended up with us. So there are other career paths available at a college or this and the other that are still within this industry, because it's an awesome industry, but you don't necessarily have to be putting boards on the wall. And if you do, make sure it's ours. But no, all jokes aside, like, you don't necessarily, if it's not for you or you end up doing your apprenticeship, you think, I don't want to be a spark though, but this is what I know, it's what I like. There are wholesaling, manufacturing, there's other sort of engineering courses, maintenance, there's so much to the industry. You know, if you don't find an apprenticeship, it doesn't mean that just, you know, you get through your college situation, go work at a wholesaler. I tell you who goes to wholesalers? Electricians. Lots of them. You know, and even if you know, work part-time there or you know, even offer to, I don't know, work experience there, or these other things in those environments where you're going to be around more electricians and more opportunity, and just be proactive within the industry.
So that's actually why I joined the wholesaler in the first place.
Right.
Because I thought, okay, I'm already learning about it in college. I could learn more about it if I'm, you know, working in that industry, if I'm selling the stuff. And that's what called me over. But then ultimately, as I started doing that, I was like, oh, well, actually, this ain't so bad. It's like you said, the industry is so massive and there's so many different things you can bring to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the end user, you know, the sparkies out and about. It can be so many other different things. Like, I never thought of working for a supplier before when I was working in a wholesaler, but then as soon as the opportunity came available, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's a whole new world, an entirely different thing to do.
Yeah.
So are you happy with the choice that you made then? In terms of,
I mean, bear in mind that, you know, Jay's your sales director, and now he's asking you, do you
No.
still want your job?
No,
That's literally what that sounded like. That's literally, because if not, right, there's a load of kids out there that probably do it half the price.
I'm talking about the transition from potential electrician to wholesaler.
Yeah, to be honest, it led me here. You know, so I'm not one of those people who kind of like, you know, sit around second guessing stuff. If you do something, do it with chest, you know, follow it through, do your best abilities, and, you know, see where it takes you. And I was always interested in electrics, but I don't really think it was something that, like, you know, my heart and soul was in. It was just, it's a well-paying trade. Like from a kid, you're always told, get a trade, trade.
That's it.
But
do you know what? The adage is true. You go and get a trade, you'll have a job. You might not work in the trade, but you've shown a level of, look, you've got an understanding, you've got a skill set, you can get up early.
Key fundamentals.
100%. I mean,
that's it. Like, there's like unlearnable skills that come with that.
Without a doubt. Like,
I mean,
we've interviewed people in the past and employed people in the past with university degrees and everything else like that. They cannot get to work on time, which renders them fairly useless.
Yeah.
But you know, with the trades, there's a different grit to get through it. You know, and like Rich was saying, some will drop off because some are doing it because basically they're made to. You know, it's like you are saying if you're, you know, you're living under this roof, you are going to get you're going to do something. Yeah. You know, and so if they haven't gone to college and done, I don't know, or uni or done something, it tends to be, well, to go get a trade. But to be an electrician isn't, you know, you can be a painter and not have to go through what you have to go through as an electrician. It's not an easy trade to obtain.
No.
And like Rich was saying, like even if you become an electrician, you have so many transferable skills that you can work in any other trade essentially, but also, like we're just saying, then there's so many different avenues. And I think a day like today opens up their eyes to that as well, because it opens up, oh, look at all these brands, look at all these different types of companies. And it all relates back to the same thing, same industry.
So in terms of the overall mindset of the apprentices that you spoke to, what was it like? Was it positive? Was it excited?
I mean, everyone who was there wanted to be there, which is great. It wasn't like a forced thing. So straight away, they're more receptive. The conversation's flowing easier. It's just a nicer place to be. But I don't know. When you ask them, like, have you got an apprenticeship lined up? Or are you actively looking? I mean, everyone's just kind of like, no, not really. No, like, you kind of got the sense like the hopes were there. You know, the ambitions there. They're trying, but it's just.
There's an uncertainty.
It's not quite coming off, and it's this massive grey area. Like what I said to a few of them, it's like obviously, you know, like we're not offering apprenticeships, but we deal with a lot of sparkies. I mean, give us a follow on Instagram, check us your details. If we know someone in the area that you're, you know, we can maybe pass the details along, help them out, you know. So there was a few people who wanted to jump on that as well. Obviously, they were interested in the podcast as well because I said like, you know, it's quite educational. You can learn some stuff on there that, you know, might come up on. You know, one of your courses. Like the other day I was speaking to a guy in Cardiff and he was like, oh, you work for Will? And I was like, yeah, I work for Will. I said, I just watched one of his videos on AFDDs. He just saved me on a job. And I was like, you got to buy a board? And he's like, oh, maybe. I was like,
it's probably one of our competitors' boards has gone wrong. You're welcome.
You're welcome for the help. So you still get points for assist, don't you?
That's what we always did with that, you know, that's why I started that YouTube channel. So not so much did the podcast, that was a bit different, but like it was about, we on that YouTube channel never really pushed, here was our latest blah blah blah, who gives a shit. Like it was you know, if this happened, this is this, and this is why you need this, and this is when you use this, and by the way, if this is going wrong, this is why, check this. And most of the people that watch it, and I was saying to Rich, most people that watch it and gain stuff from it are older electricians, time served electricians, not necessarily apprentices. So it's, you know, we as an industry probably have to do more, as a whole industry have to do more, but it's like anything, right? So it's a pie. Time, money, all of it. If you give more to one section, you're taking away from another. But if you don't give enough to it, there ain't a tomorrow. So there has to be a balance in there. There has to be a balance. So all in all, I think thumbs up from everyone for today. I think we all enjoyed it. 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs. I can't get it. There we go.
I had a second hand.
I just showing off the bling.
This whole thing.
But no, I think it's been a good day. I would say we will definitely be back next year. I think we better pack up this studio and head our way back down to South Wales. Birmingham, it's been fun. Anyone listening, thank you again for joining in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube would be fun. Yeah, YouTube. And obviously Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere else. But and maybe reach back out to your local colleges and training centres and just see what's going on. You know, even if you've got some old stuff in the van, you know, and things like that, because there's probably more we could do as an industry just to help. And I mean, and if any feedback today, guys, or anything you guys want to talk about, or you want to come on the show, obviously just get in touch. We're packed out now till mid-April. But we film every Friday, and we would like to have more of the industry on. Even if you're an apprentice, I think that would be an interesting one as well. Or, you know, you're a training provider or something like that. Come on. And until next time, guys, I suppose the joy is in the journey, and take care.